Cardi reposted a video on his story of him FaceTiming Justin Bieber while eating dinner on one of his Spotify plaques. Now, Playboi Carti is dropping an album tonight called I Am Music, and ahead of its release, this is what he posted. Now, there's no sound, but just check this out.
It's a full-blown pop crisis right now. Selena Gomez might lose her #1 album streak, and the buzz is that another artist is about to knock her and Benny Blanco out of that top spot. We can't let that happen. Selena almost walked away from music altogether. She was ready to call it quits because her label was trying to control every little move she made. They didn't like her being with Benny Blanco, and they were definitely not here for a collab album where they'd have to split the cash with him. Selena stood her ground and told them she'd leave music behind if they didn't back off. So what did Interscope Records do? They backed off, but they might have played dirty at the same time. Now there's talk that the label set her up to fail by pushing another artist into the spotlight just to block her. Word is, they're putting her in direct competition with someone else on their own roster, hoping her album flops. It's looking shady out here. The music industry might be turning its back on Selena, and here's where it gets even messier. Interscope Records is showing big support for someone else, not Team Haley necessarily, but they're all in for Playboi Carti. While Selena dropped her album with Benny Blanco, Interscope sneakily pushed Carti's deluxe release at the exact same time. Coincidence? Doesn't look like it. Less than 10 days after Selena dropped her album, the label rolled out Playboi Carti's deluxe project, clearly trying to steal the spotlight and the sales. Fans are heated and calling out the label for completely failing to promote Selena's album properly. No solid playlist placements, no strong marketing push, just vibes and hopes. Whispers are flying that there's been tension behind the scenes between Selena and the label. Some insiders say the drama might have affected how much money and support they were willing to throw behind her and Benny Blanco's project. This is not how you treat one of your biggest stars. Let's rewind real quick. Selena and Benny got engaged in December. Then just 2 months later, in February, they dropped the bombshell announcement. They were releasing an album together, and by March, the album was here. It all moved fast, almost too fast. Some fans think the label rushed it on purpose to avoid spending more on promo. Now we're staring down a real pop emergency. Chart predictions are saying someone else might snatch that #1 spot, pushing Selena and Benny out of the way. This cannot go down like that. Even with all this mess, the album is doing way better than anyone expected. Selena's music is streaming like crazy. She's showing the world she's still got it. Honestly, this project might be one of her best yet. And yes, like I've said before, I love this album. But the real question is, what's really going on between Selena and Interscope? One fan summed it up perfectly. The record label is playing dirty. Let's just hope Selena's fans go all in and make some noise for her. Someone online even called out for Taylor Swift and Selena to team up right now because we need all the backup we can get to help Selena win this fight. And seriously, with all the money Selena has, fans are asking, why hasn't she just started her own record label already? But maybe it's not that simple behind the scenes. There's a lot we don't see. I came across a wild Reddit thread that really broke it all down. It claims that Interscope Records has done nothing to support Selena's new album. Nothing! One user said, "I said I love you first," throwing shade at how the label gave her no real backing. Then there's this eyebrow-raising moment. Selena once joked that her label would kill her if she ever released her unreleased album Seven Heavens. That joke hit different now, knowing how much tension's been bubbling behind the scenes. And let's not forget, it was speculated last year that Selena had been clashing with the label, and that's what really caused her album delay. There were even talks of her retiring from music altogether. I remember that moment clearly. But now it's starting to look like maybe that retirement talk was just a power move, to let the label know she was done playing games. There were rumors that she wanted to jump ship and sign with another label, but no one knows if that ever went through. When the album finally dropped, Interscope posted one photo. That's it. No push, no hype, nothing. And here's the tea. Fans are guessing that Benny Blanco's involvement might have complicated things. Since the album's a collab, it probably messed with existing contracts. Interscope might be salty that Benny's making bank off the project, so they're treating it like some side gig instead of a major release. One tweet even claimed, Interscope seems to be sabotaging her. And honestly, it's starting to look that way.
Gomez put out her album, I Said I Love You First. And if you notice, Interscope Records is not promoting the album. And instead, they've put out another artist's album on the same record label to compete with her numbers. So they released Playboi Carti's album. I think it's I'm Sorry for the Wait Deluxe or something like that. It's something like that. I don't know. But they put out that album to compete with the sales of Selena Gomez's album. And the reason is because they wanted Selena Gomez to have a certain sound. And she was like, no, I want to put out something that speaks to myself, that speaks to my audience, that speaks to, the people who are listening to me. And I want to be my true, authentic self. And they were like, nope, we don't want that. We want you to put out what you were contracted to do. Instead of doing that, she was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and make music with Benny. And that's what she did. And she put out the album, I Said I Love You First. And they're not promoting it. They haven't promoted it all week because it wasn't put out on their label. It was put out on SMG and Friends Keep Secrets, which is like Benny Blanco and I think Selena Gomez's label. So instead of promoting it, instead of saying anything about it, they put out Playboi Carti's album to compete with her sales. And not only that, Selena and Benny are self-promoting this album. Everything that's being released about this album is being released on Selena Gomez's website.
Right after news broke that Selena's album was on track to debut at #1, boom! Interscope rushed out Playboi Carti's deluxe album less than 10 days later. That's super fast for a deluxe drop. Like, Ariana Grande dropped her album last year, and she's just now getting ready to release a deluxe version a whole year later. So why did Carti's land right after Selena's? Feels way too calculated. This whole situation's got the same shady vibe as dealing with insurance companies. They delay, deny, and underpay. And just like that, labels play the same game when artists try to take back control. Now more than ever, artists are pushing to own their music completely. And here's the thing. Selena was brought into the spotlight young, signed early, and pretty much got handed over to Disney and the music industry. Her contract probably locked her into a mess. But at least now, she's got the fame and clout to move how she wants. She can land interviews and pull major moves without the label's help. Most artists don't have that kind of freedom. One fan put it perfectly. Selena not giving one F what the record label thinks is amazing. And others started connecting the dots too. One pointed out that Interscope pulled the same stunt with Camila Cabello during Billie Eilish's album release. And here's more proof something's off. Kristen Stubbs, the head of digital at Interscope, posted a story hyping up all the label's recent albums, except Selena's. She straight up left Selena out of the celebration. That says everything. And it gets even messier. Kristen Stubbs, who runs digital at Interscope, reportedly started blocking Selena Gomez fans who were just asking why the album wasn't getting any promo. Like, instead of answering or showing support, she hit that block button. Real professional, right? Then things took an even wilder turn. A thread popped off saying that Selena's own mom liked a post suggesting that Interscope was sabotaging her and other artists too. When your own family starts backing the theory, that's not just noise anymore, that's real smoke. Now here's something super shady. Selena and Benny's song I Said I Love You First was suddenly unlinked from Selena's name by the label. Like, you won't even see it when you search for her on Spotify. It's almost like they're trying to erase the project completely. Why? Because their salty Benny Blanco is involved and probably cashing in on it. The label clearly wants full control over Selena. They don't want her doing a collab where her fiancé, someone who actually understands her sound, helps shape her music. And let's be real, she sounds better than ever on this album. So why wouldn't they be proud of that? Why hold her back? One fan nailed it, saying, "Just leaving this here. Playboi Carti beat and choked his pregnant girlfriend, and Interscope's still happy to push him on us. But Selena wants creative freedom, and she's the one being punished?" That says everything. She's not doing anything wrong. She's just trying to create art on her terms. But because it cuts into the label's profits, They're acting like she broke some unspoken rule. It's twisted. And honestly, the double standards are loud. According to reports, Playboy Carti allegedly grabbed his pregnant girlfriend by the throat during a fight over a paternity test, holding her so tightly she could barely breathe. She was reportedly 14 weeks pregnant at the time and told police she honestly thought she wasn't going to make it. The argument started when she tried to talk to Cardi about the baby, and it spiraled into something terrifying.
Posted a video on his story of him FaceTiming Justin Bieber while eating dinner on one of his Spotify plaques. Now, Playboi Carti is dropping an album tonight called I Am Music, and ahead of its release, this is what he posted. Now, there's no sound, but just check this out.
Iggy Azalea didn't hold back either. She called him out, saying, "Imagine having a pregnant girlfriend and pretending she doesn't exist until it comes out that you abused her too. Barely visiting your actual son, unless you're running from whatever problems you got going on in Atlanta." Iggy has a child with Playboi Carti herself, and clearly she wants nothing to do with him. Then there's this. A fan spotted Justin Bieber FaceTiming Cardi just days before both Cardi and Selena dropped their albums. And that had people talking. Fans are now accusing Justin of inserting himself into the chaos. Once again, right as Selena's in the middle of music drama. This whole thing is messy from every angle. But here's the thing, even if the label's acting shady, they can't block the numbers. If people love the songs, the streams are gonna come in, no matter what the suits upstairs think. That part is out of their control. Maybe they'll try to block her from releasing singles or delay more promo, but at the end of the day, the fans are showing up. And let's be honest, it's starting to feel like this whole mess has less to do with Selena and everything to do with how much they don't like Benny Blanco being part of this. And here's where it gets even deeper. Some fans are now wondering if Selena's label is trying to ice her out completely. People noticed she hasn't been invited to any major music events since the album dropped. No award show buzz, no radio interviews lined up, no red carpet appearances, nothing. It's like they're trying to keep her invisible on purpose. Meanwhile, other Interscope artists are getting the full VIP treatment. Cardi's name is everywhere. Magazine spreads, curated playlists, talk show slots, you name it. But Selena? Crickets. And fans are furious. They're saying it feels like the label is trying to bury the album quietly while pretending nothing shady is going on behind the scenes. One viral comment read, "It's not just about promotion anymore. This is about respect. And Selena isn't getting any from her label." Another added, "They're mad she took control of her art and didn't play by their rules." And honestly, that sounds exactly like what's happening. Even music insiders have started whispering that Interscope may be giving more energy to male artists because they're easier to manage and don't cause trouble. Trouble? Since when is wanting creative control trouble? Despite the silence from the label, fans are not backing down. They're organizing streaming parties, trending hashtags, and pushing for the album on their own. Selena might be fighting an uphill battle, but her supporters are showing up like an army. This whole situation feels like a major turning point, not just for Selena, but for how the music industry treats artists who finally decide to speak up and take control. And it looks like Selena's ready to fight back. Now here's the wildest part. Some fans are starting to believe this isn't just label drama. They think this might be intentional blackballing. Think about it. Selena's got one of the biggest fan bases in the game, her music is charting, the streams are rolling in. But the industry? Silent. Almost too silent. Sources close to the situation are saying that there might be a quiet effort to freeze Selena out, not just from her label, but from parts of the industry as a whole. Some claim major playlist curators and media outlets were told to hold off on spotlighting her album. No big pushes, no priority placements. Like, who's making those calls? And what's even more suspicious? Benny Blanco hasn't said a word about any of it. Not publicly. Not even to defend Selena. Fans are torn. Some think he's trying to play it smart behind the scenes, while others feel he should be stepping up and saying something, especially since his name is all over the project. One tweet that's picking up steam said, "They're punishing her for being in love and refusing to play puppet. That's what this really is." And honestly, that hits hard, because let's face it, Selena finally found her voice, both in music and in her personal life. And now it seems like the people who once profited off her silence aren't happy about it. But the fans? They're louder than ever. And if the industry wants to pretend this album doesn't exist, then fans are gonna make damn sure it's impossible to ignore. The question now is, how far will the label go to shut her down? And how far will Selena go to break free? And now, people are looking sideways at the timing of all this. Selena drops one of the most personal, vulnerable albums of her career, right when she's finally in a happy, stable relationship. And suddenly, the industry goes silent, the label drama kicks off, other artists start popping up like distractions. Nah, it's not random. The timing feels way too perfect, or maybe perfectly planned. Fans are pointing out how Selena's entire image has always been tightly managed. Sweet, polished, non-confrontational. But this new album, it's grown. It's bold. She's talking about love, loss, power, and letting go. And not everybody at the top is ready for that version of Selena to take center stage. There's even been speculation that some execs are nervous about her relationship with Benny turning into a power couple move. Think about it. He knows the business, he knows the sound, and now he's helping her build something outside their control. That scares them. It's giving threat to the system energy. One fan posted, "This isn't just about music. It's about a woman refusing to be handled." Another said, "They were fine with Selena when she was broken and easy to control. Now that she's healing, they're panicking." And honestly, that might be the most accurate take out there. So, while they're scrambling behind the scenes, pulling shady moves, and pushing other artists into her lane, Selena's out here dropping real, raw art. And no matter how hard they try to erase it, the people see it, the fans hear it, and they're not letting it fade quietly into the background. Now let's talk impact, because despite all the chaos, Selena's album is still dominating conversations. It's not just the streams or the charts, it's the way people are connecting to it. Fans are saying this is the realest she's ever sounded. The lyrics hit different, the production is sharp, and her vocals? Stronger than ever. And guess who helped bring that out? Benny Blanco. That's probably what's got the label so pressed. This wasn't some random passion project. This was a statement. Selena finally took the wheel, crafted an album that reflects who she is now, and showed she doesn't need a whole machine behind her to make noise. And let's be real, they don't like that. People are even comparing this situation to what other artists like Kesha and JoJo went through. Powerful voices getting pushed aside the moment they start demanding more freedom. History keeps repeating itself in the music industry. Same tactics, same silence, same playbook. But here's what they didn't count on. Selena's fans don't quit. They've been pushing harder than ever, flooding social media, running up the streams, and demanding justice. They're not just fighting for a chart position, they're fighting for her to be seen, to be heard, and to be respected. And at the center of it all? A woman who's done playing nice to keep others comfortable. Selena didn't just drop an album. She lit a fuse. And no matter how many distractions or roadblocks they throw at her, she's not backing down. The industry might have underestimated her, but the fans didn't. And now, it's game on! Now here's something else that's been sitting in the back of my mind. What's really going on with Benny Blanco? For someone who was such a huge part of this album, he's been way too quiet. No interviews, no big public shoutouts, no clapping back at the label. It's kind of weird. There might be something more going on behind the scenes that we don't know yet. Might have to dig into that next. But I want to hear what you think. Drop it in the comments. Do you love the album? Are you feeling the vibe Selena brought this time around? And most importantly, do you think the label is actually sabotaging her? Or is this just one of those situations where bad timing made everything worse? For me, what makes it all seem real is the fact that Selena herself once said she was thinking about retiring from music. I remember that moment clear as day. That wasn't just a random rumor. She put it out there. So if she's still here, still making music, still dropping full albums, then there had to be some major business moves that changed her mind. Something happened behind those closed doors. Anyway, thank you for watching all the way through. If you're riding with Selena, riding with the truth, or just here for the tea, make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. This story's far from over, and we're just getting started.